And then the greatest thing is when you start crossing things off your list.
Right.
And you're like, wow, I didn't know where that, for example, I wanted to, I wanted to go to Russia. I didn't know idea how I was going to get to Russia. And darn, I just came back from Russia. So things manifest, like you don't even know where they're coming from. But so we were talking about writer's block. What I've learned about this bubble, because I believe so strongly in it, is that so much of writer's block and so much of incomplete projects come from the inability to deal with other people's opinions. I am not a big fan of writers groups where you're giving opinions on everyone's projects. The ability to hang on to your own identity and the belief in the power of your own identity is so much more the path to success, the path to getting everything you want. When you start asking for other people's reflections on your work, and start asking for validation or direction, don't. Go back, inward. Find your core, find your strength. The time for feedback is when you feel so good about your project, and you will be able to discern the good feedback from the bad feedback. You'll be able to hear, oh, this person's just talking about their own work, that they're reacting to something that's triggered them, or they're trying to give me their personal opinion because they feel strongly about something that I've written, but it doesn't work for my story, right? There's a power that when you come into the marketplace and you're ready for feedback, that you're able to say, that's good feedback. Oh, that makes my story better. Oh, I can see how that's a great twist. Or even, I may not agree with them, but I can see how their opinion would make my story different, and I might go there. So it's this centeredness that you want to go out in the marketplace with. And until you have that centeredness, you're going to be whipped around like again, that hamster in a little hamster wheel, trying to chase people's approval. And it's you can't succeed that way, and it'll demoralize you.
So we often hear someone say, hey, I just finished a second draft of something. Can I send it to you for your review? Or even a short film. Do you recommend people do that? Because at some point we need to see it from another set of eyes, because our own are very biased to what we do.
We all need feedback. Peter, my partner of many years, has always given me great feedback. But the difference is how you stand within the feedback. So if the desire for feedback comes from wanting someone to fix what you have, or wanting someone to approve of you, or wanting someone to validate that you're talented, or validate that you're going to succeed, or validate that you have a good idea, you're asking for trouble. It's so much more valuable if you can imagine that what you write and what you create is like a child. And in its wholeness, it has unity and strength and value in the world. Now, in the same way, you would not look at a toddler and deem it that it's going to, you will never make money in banking. Sit down, go back to where you came from. You never do that. You have to appreciate that child is going to learn things, and you're going to want to teach it Spanish, or you're going to want to have it develop its talents. But you have to approach it as if it has value in itself. If you start rearranging the elements of the story in a way that destroys the wholeness of the child you've just birthed, you're going to be frustrated and go back to square one. I've just seen so many writers, because we both teach storytelling, really be willing to rearrange anything because somebody with authority has told them to. And even though that person with authority may be very smart, they may be a studio executive, they may be a brilliant story coach, they may be a producer, you're still the guide of this child that you've created. And if you don't know your own work and your own path for this and believe in it as it is, you could end up in development hell for another 5 years trying to please someone who doesn't really know what they want, because they're chasing the marketplace. They're not really interested in the integrity of your work. So it's a balance, but it absolutely comes first and foremost with the strong core of knowing how good you are, how unique your voice is, and the ability to hold your center.